Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as TheDramaticOtaku, and welcome to today's cosplay build, which is Yori from Whisper Me a Love Song. Whisper Me a Love Song is one of my favourite queer romances, and I decided to cosplay this character because not only is she one of my favourite characters from Whisper Me a Love Song, but also because I'm going to Oz Comic Con during Pride Month, so I figured I'd go as at least one gay character, and the Saturday I will be going as Joel from Joel as in Smallish Beans. So I figured my Yori Whisper Me a Love Song cosplay would be Sunday. If you see me, come say hi. But the cosplay itself is actually quite simple. It is a schoolgirl cosplay, so I already have, in essence, a lot of what Yori needs. The parts that make up this cosplay is a dark greyish black wig with a white t-shirt, a grey sweater vest, a grey and blue box pleated skirt, as well as some grey or black tights and school shoes. Now, I no longer have any school shoes, and my workplace lets me wear runners, so I don't have like proper work shoes. I'm fine wearing Converse instead. The main things that I will be actually making for this cosplay is the box pleated skirt, because it is such a hyper specific skirt, as well as styling Yori's wig. Now, I'm still not the most confident in styling wigs, so after this video being made, I'm still not happy with the wig, but it is the best that I can do with what I've got. Whisper Me a Love Song is not a very popular series, so, or should I say, it's not very popular here. It only recently got an anime, and it seems on the lower key side of what people like at the moment. Now, I do technically have a sweater vest, but it is the wrong color scheme. It's the same one that I wore for Ishigami, and this time I was just like, well, if I'm gonna fuck up the wig, I may as well get the color scheme for Yori right. So I did in fact actually purchase a grey sweater vest off of Boohoo Man, because it's the only fucking place I could find it that wasn't Shein. So I went to Boohoo Man and I purchased it, and I received it at some point. You will see that in this video. I also want to make a caveat that this version of Yori is manga Yori, because I haven't actually watched the anime yet, and I know in the anime her hair is a little bit darker and she has slightly different features in the anime. So this is manga Yori. The references that I use is based off of the manga art, specifically the volume covers of volume 1 and volume 7. So just jumping into it, we have two main factors that we are dealing with today, this being the wig and the skirt. So let's get started with the skirt. So a box pleat skirt. Now, box pleat skirt is one of those skirts that are the big pleats with an inner sort of pleat on the inside of the skirt. Basically, it's an Australian schoolgirl skirt, so I am very well versed with a box pleat skirt, how it should look, how it will look nice, and I was extremely confident up until I, when trying to look for more reference photos, noticed that the inside of the pleat was dark blue. So I started panicking, because instead of one suiting material or one wool material, because I wanted to make this skirt really nice and thick, because this is a winter convention in Australia. I wanted to make this skirt nice and thick for just warmth reasons. It's been very cold. Then I discovered I in fact have to do essentially double the work, because I have to cut out panels for the inner seam of the box pleats, which just made my life 10 times more difficult, because box pleats in themselves, for me, while they are very difficult, while they are very simple, getting the right measurements can be very difficult, especially if you're working with two-tone fabric. So I had to cut out all of my fabric and then also had to cut out a blue strip of fabric, color match it to make sure it's the correct colors, make sure that I was sewing together the right sides of my grey fabric, but also I had to cut all of my like lengths of fabric into shorter lengths of fabric so I could stitch it together with the blue fabric. I also had to make sure it was like 3 times the length of my waist, because that's what you do when you're working with pleats. So a lot of math. I also had to think about how big I wanted my pleats to be when I was cutting the fabric, and it all really ended with my skirt being slightly too big around the waist. Now, that is at my own fault because I did actually purposely leave it a little too long, but we'll get there when we get there. As I said, I was cutting, sewing, and stitching together all of the panels that I needed to, and ironing them together so that they were all nice and neat. I spent a couple days sort of struggling around how to do this process, and in that time I got really, really sick. Third set of COVID tests for the day. Am I actually sick? Or am I just a bitch? Not COVID, thankfully, but off camera I decided to actually stitch together all of the pleats, overlocking all the raw edges so it was nice and flat, and making sure with this project, unlike with previous projects that I've done, to iron between everything that I did. I really, really wanted this skirt to look really good, and the key to that is ironing your project, especially when you are working with pleats. Moving forward, I would top stitch each box pleat down a couple of centimeters. Now, I did it with the wrong color fabric, wrong color thread, pretty much the entire skirt, but that didn't end up mattering, as I would sort of stitch over this with the waistband that I had. But I did this for every single pleat when I was happy with how I had ironed it down and made it look good. Well, it is not COVID. This is my 6th COVID test of the fucking day. Once everything was sewn together and nice, I top stitched over the very top line of the skirt to make sure that even though I'd top stitched down, that top stitching around would keep those top stitches in place. I then essentially joined it up to see if it would look good on me and realized it was fucking massive. So I had to actually cut a certain section out of the skirt, then re-overlock, then recheck if the skirt looked good on me, because I would be adding in a zipper for this skirt because it is made of so many different freaking panels of fabric. It's then that I realized I needed to do a hem for the skirt, so I hemmed it off camera, then making it look all nice and lovely on camera. Again, pressing seams, best thing you should do. Moving forward, I sewed in the zipper to the skirt and adjusted from there. A lot of this was done off camera because, once again, I was sick and just kept making shit more difficult for myself with the actual skirt itself. The finished skirt is actually pretty good. It is a little loose around the waist, but it isn't too bad. I will say I did fuck up the waistband a little bit. I wanted to make it nice and small, and in me trying to perfect it and make it a little small waistband instead of a really thick one, adding to the length of the skirt, I accidentally sewed the wrong side outside and the right side inside, meaning that the waistband is actually darker than the skirt itself, which is really annoying because it is the exact same fabric as the skirt. I'm honestly surprised about this one. I don't know how. I wasn't even really going to be too bothered if I didn't get grey tights for Yori. But I found grey tights in an op shop and that surprised the fuck out of me. So I bought them, I guess. So this here is the sweater vest that I got from Boohoo Man. I tried it on over my Living Lou jumper because if it fit over there, it would fit over me. And it's actually very nice and stretchy. I really enjoy it. I will be, in fact, using this for my Ishigami cosplays in the future. I do and will still use the other sweater vest that I have. It's just this one is a much more common color, surprisingly. This is my base for my Yori wig for the price I paid. This is a Genshin wig. I don't know the character, but this is a Genshin wig for the price I paid. Did I expect this to be thicker? Yes. I didn't expect that when every time I put my hands through it, I get out a bunch of wig fibers, which is annoying. Of course, I will be dyeing this like a slightly darker color. I don't mind the blue being in it. That actually helps because Yori's like color is blue. But I paid 60 plus 60 was also including shipping, but like paid 60 Australian dollars for this, and I'm a little bit disappointed at how thin it is. The fibers are very nice though, I will say that. This is Uncanny Valley. So this part is definitely coming off. My hair is supposed to be a lot shorter for Yori. This was just like the closest I could get because of these parts needing to be long as shit. And I'm gonna cut them to about here afterwards. I didn't want to get like a long wig and then cut it short, or like a short wig and then put these on top, because I kind of need this seam here to look like this, and I'm gonna have to style it so that like the bangs stick out from this. But this is the wig thus far. It will need to be dyed. That, like, I knew that coming in. I just thought this would be slightly darker than it is, and it's a bit too light, so I'm gonna have to get like probably black or something like that, and do like, obviously I'll have to do a strand test, see if the dye can actually sit on the wig. But I'm probably gonna have to dye it, and probably dye it like dark grey, because that was my intention originally. I only wanted this because it did have partial blue in it. Now I'm gonna just have to dye it dark grey. But yeah, that is part one. I'm a little bit disappointed that I paid $60 Australian for this. Though I will say, biggest upside is I didn't put a wig cap on before putting this on. It fits over my head, with ponytail out and everything. My ponytail is right here. It fits over my head. I don't get that often with wigs. So as I said, this is actually a very nice wig, and this is a wig that not only fits over my head without a wig cap on, but also is very good quality hair, as well as it also being a former Genshin wig. That was solely because of the layers in the hair. Yori's hair is a wolf cut, and it has these like little things that emphasize the fringe, which was the bane of my existence to try and emulate. It also has like these really long sections. It's very much like a jellyfish cut. And I didn't know how to emulate that with a regular wig, so I went out of my way to find this Genshin wig, and I obviously needed to dye it black and also like cut it. Now I purposely chose one with blue in it because Yori has like blue highlighting her character. She's blue, Himari's pink, or Himari's red, you know? So what I did is I dyed the wig. I did this by putting the smallest amount. Now, I say smallest, that is hyperbole. I used a semi-small amount of black synthetic dye, RIT dye. I used a lot less than I essentially would for a like costume project, just because I didn't want to dye the wig black. I wanted to dye it charcoal grey, which I essentially did, and it actually has a very blue undertone, very purpley kind of undertone as well, which is surprising because the base wig was a very browny grey. After dipping it, I dipped it in the actual water itself for about 2 to 5 minutes before going and washing it out in the laundry basin next to my washing machine and rinsing it between hot and cold water until it ran clear, which was very, very quickly because I hadn't dyed it for too long. If you are dyeing wigs, it is not like dyeing hair or clothes. You essentially just need to dip it into the dye for the shortest amount of time to get the most color and then wash it out really quickly. Well, hopefully that works. So far the top is somewhat the right color, but it's gonna dry lighter, I know that much. I then left it to air dry overnight before the next day coming in and brushing out the entire wig, which, as I said, this wig is a very, very nice wig. This is by L Email Wigs, and wow, it was really good. I might have to buy from them again in the future because it was good quality for money. Like I've bought from, I think, Epic Cosplays before, Easy Cosplays, and this is now Email Cosplays. This one is the best quality for the like wig that I got, especially after dyeing it as well. So nice. Would definitely recommend. This is not sponsored. Then after brushing it out, I cut off the longest part of the wig, which is the little ponytail at the back. Then trying to fluff it all out and make it a similar level. I used so much hairspray in this project, a lot more than any other wig I've done, and I completely fucked with my Hayasaka wig less than this. I think I used more glue in my Hayasaka wig than hairspray. I then proceeded to try and curl parts of the wig, crimp parts of the wig, just to add a lot of volume to this wig because Yori's hair is short, but it is also messy. And I didn't know how to do straight messy hair, so I kind of just started curling it and crimping it to make it all wavy and to make it short. And then was the fact of the fringe things at the front. Now, I always fuck up the fringe to my wigs. This is still the case for Yori. I did also fuck up the fringe for Yori, but I am slightly proud with the fringe dangly bits that I did. I did the like side fringe quite well. It frames the face really nicely, but just the things on top, because there is actually like volume there on all of her like depictions, it's really, really hard to try and recreate those without looking like I have sticks on my hair. And over time I've realized it's a lot more messier than just the two short sections, but like it's the best I could do for not really having that much experience with wig making and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully I can do better next time, but for what I didn't know how to do, I think I've done pretty well. And after wearing it once, I did fuck with it a little bit more, so that is a lot flatter than what it was. So I hope you guys enjoy this video and with what in the, you know, Dracula I fucking made with that wig. And I will be wearing this for OzComic Sunday. I will also be there Saturday, but I will be cosplaying as Joel Smallish Beans on Saturday and being my weird self with a couple of friends. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week for a Haikyuu review, and I believe also my OzComic haul. I'll see you then. Bye.